Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of GhanaVeg Food Diaries. My name is Selassie. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the sources of water for vegetable production. Have you ever thought about where our water comes from? And when you buy your vegetables and you bring them home, how do you wash them? We're going to be talking about that and much, much more. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and as I said earlier, we're going to be talking about the sources of water for vegetable production. Joining me in the studio is Roderick from the Food and Drug Authority. Thank you very much for coming today.
Thanks.
I wanted to find out where does the water come from? So if I open my tap at home, where does the water come from?
Well, the water that flows in your tap, that's coming from the GhanaVater company.
Okay.
Well, they have different sources, so it depends on where you are living. But basically, it's water that has been treated that gets to you.
Okay. Then for farmers,
Yes.
do they use the same sources of water that you're talking about, or are there different sources that some people use?
Well, it's almost like a trick question. This question. There is the appropriate thing to use would be, the tap water that we use or the borehole. As to the question of people having that to use is another question.
Okay.
I think there are some social issues that is happening all around. As to whether government is able to provide enough for everybody, that's a whole complete, that's another story, So sometimes we have experienced it's a common practice that you see people using other sources of water that are not desirable. Okay. You sometimes see people using gutter water.
Okay.
It's very bad. We don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Yes. Then some also, maybe streams.
Okay.
They go to streams and then pick from them. So they are. These are the sources of water that are around.
Okay. Yeah. So you mentioned gutter water.
Yes.
So I wanted to maybe ask, how widespread is that, and what is being done to monitor?
All right. Okay. We may not have the statistics for it. Ghana is a young country. It needs a lot of infrastructure to be put in place. But I think it's common sight that we do see around. Some are making the effort to use proper water, pipe-borne water, or the borehole. However, you also come across others who use some of this unapproved water sources, and a lot of consequences when you do that. I don't remember the last time you prepared your salad and you boiled it or you heated it or something. Okay. Salads are more or less ready to eat foods. Okay. So if you are using gutter water, these sources are not good. Why? Because, fecal material in such sources or organic material like rotten, a dog gets knocked down, finds its way in the gutter. All those things find their way into this water, and so you have what we call pathogens or germs. And so if you use that type of water to water, your vegetables, most invariably they stick onto the product. You carry them to the market, and then you find it on your table. Okay. We say from farm to fork. Yes. Well, you've gotten yourself a load of bacteria ready to get you some diarrhea or to get you stomach cramps, which you don't want.
So it sounds like it's very important for us to wash our vegetables well before we eat them.
Yes.
So I went to Eden Tree to visit Catherine Deduce, and she showed me how to wash lettuce. I hope we got it right. Let's take a look. These days, we're all trying to eat healthier. So what's the first step? Making sure your vegetables are clean and healthy. So today, we're here at Eden Tree Limited to find out what's the best way to wash our vegetables. Hi, Catherine.
Hi, Selassie.
Thanks for inviting us today.
You're welcome. Welcome to Eden Tree.
Thank you.
Okay.
So basically, I see there's a lot of salad.
Yes.
And could you take us through some of the processes that you use to make sure the vegetables are very clean?
Absolutely, absolutely. What we have here is that the lettuce comes from the farm.
Okay.
Okay, and you know, you normally have the soil at the roots,
Yes.
you know, the dirty bits.
Yes, and
So
I see
what
also
we-
some of the leaves that are
Exactly.
not so great.
Yeah, so what we do is we cut all the dirty bits off.
Okay.
And then we take the dead leaves out. We make sure that what we are sending out to the customer is the absolutely top quality stuff. So after we've done this, then we come this way. Okay, so we go through 3 different stages of washing.
Okay.
So this is the first stage. We wash the dirt off.
Okay.
And even as well as taking the dead leaves and the roots off, when it comes here, if there are still some leaves that are not okay, we still take them off.
Okay.
So the first wash the soil and the dirt off. And then this is the second wash that we put in disinfectant.
Okay, disinfectant.
Okay, we put it in the water, so this disinfects the lettuce.
Yeah.
And then after the second stage, we now go to the third stage, which is just clean water.
Okay,
To rinse everything off. And then
It's
it is
ready.
ready for packaging.
Okay, fantastic. So I see that we've got, the first one is to get off a lot of maybe the dirt from the farm and
Exactly.
any other leaves that are not perfect. Then we're moving it into a disinfectant.
Yes.
If I wanted to do it at home.
Yeah.
What can I use as a disinfectant?
Okay, the most easiest thing that is handy at home is salt.
Salt, okay.
Yeah. So you can use salt with water
Yeah.
to rinse your vegetables.
Okay.
This disinfectant that we use is for commercial use.
Okay.
Okay, because you don't use so much. So you only need a tablet, you know, you need a full bowl. And I don't think anyone at home is
cleaning
going
that
to
much
cleaning that
salad,
much
yeah.
lettuce. So, but salt is for me the best way at
Salt,
home
okay.
to use wash.
Excellent. So salt, and then we just need to make sure we have the right amount of salt to the amount of water.
Yes.
I know some people also have been saying they use vinegar.
Vinegar
And that
is
also we
yeah.
need to make sure we're careful
Exactly.
with the ratio
Yes.
of vinegar to water.
Yes.
Okay, great. So at home we can use vinegar, we can use salt,
Yes.
things that most people have at home.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So there you have it, a 3-step process. Rinse your vegetables, make sure you sanitize them, final rinse, and then they're ready for consumption. So make sure all your vegetables that come in from the market are properly washed, the dead parts removed, so that they're ready for your family to enjoy. So I hope we got it right.
Yes.
Okay, good. So that was at a commercial level. If you're at home, what are the approved sort of protocols that people should be using?
By and large, what we saw is the right thing.
Okay.
And you notice that we're talking about vinegar and salt. These are very common in homes.
Okay.
Well, salt more than vinegar.
Yes.
But vinegar, I think you can easily get it from any good supermarket.
Yes.
Yeah, vinegar basically is what we call acetic acid. It's a weak acid, but it's very, very helpful when you are dealing with vegetables. What you need to be concerned about is the soaking time.
Okay.
So you notice that I think from the video, time was spent first to remove what we call macro elements. That means the sand, those that you can see with the eye, because these happen to be what we call the vectors. The germs and things happen to be on, that's the source.
Yes.
You know, so you need to get them off. And as she was talking about, you know, like the roots bit and the rest, you need to cut them off because those are the portions that are attached to the ground. That's where the microorganisms do come from. So you need to take them off. And then she washed.
Yes.
The washing is very, very important. The source of water you are using, you need to pay particular attention.
Absolutely.
Yes. So tap water, it's okay. If it's water you have reserved for some time, maybe standing, because sometimes the taps do go off and the rest at least. You sometimes may see sediments at the bottom of it. Don't be worried about it. Just use the top part of it because the process of letting water even stand in itself is a way of ensuring that you get the heavy parts, you know, things that shouldn't be there, you know, they would sort of settle. So you use the top part, but it must be running water. Running in the sense that it should wash off whatever it is and take it away.
Okay.
Then the issue of the vinegar comes in, you know, because the microorganisms, if they are alive, you know, they don't like that condition.
They don't like acid.
Yeah, acid. So you need to put them in. Well, some of them can survive under acid conditions and the rest. But those are more, they are associated more with, let's say, meat and other things. We call some of these germs facultative microorganisms. They have the ability to, they can respire with oxygen. They can also do what we call anaerobic respiration. But you shouldn't be concerned so much about it. In this case, the acetic acid is able to handle, just soak it for some good time. Then you take it off. Now you have that acid on the product. So you need running water again to wash it off. And then, hey.
So it neutralizes the flavor.
Exactly. Then you can now cut it up and, make sure that the knives and things that you are using are also clean. It's very, very important. Don't go take a knife that you've used in cutting fish or meat. Or chicken, because that's called cross-contamination. You will be lifting germs from these products because they are raw onto the product you have just washed. So you should make sure that at home you have different cutting boards for your vegetables and something different also for your meat and also different for your fish. Yes.
And I've heard some people using chlorine and potassium permanganate. Is that also okay?
Chlorine, yes, but you should know how to mix it. And you need
food
some.
Grade.
Yeah, well, it's food grade, but the problem is the concentration. If you don't use it in the right, the level, if it's not right. For example, if it comes to hand washing, you can use what we say like 50 parts per million. Yeah, but these are instructions written on the product. So you need to know how to use these things. Otherwise, if you are not careful, you will bring about toxicity problems. You would be introducing rather a toxin to us. It's a chemical, toxin to us. So you need to be careful. So at the farm level, when you harvest, usually they are in bulk. So you need what we call a pack house. You need to move these to a pack house.
So
that's a new
so there is a protocol for how vegetables are treated by farmers before they're sent to retailers and consumers. So we also wanted to find out what you guys out there had to say on this subject. Specifically, we asked farmers where they got the water that they use to grow their vegetables. Let's take a look.
We have a stream running down the farm this way, and this stream doesn't dry out. So we don't depend on the rain. So we have our machines and pipelines. So we produce all year round.
My source of water, I have two areas that I farm. Where we are currently standing is a waterlogged area. I depend wholly on rain-fed for farming. So basically it is rain-fed.
I depend on the rain, and the vegetable also depend on rain, but at times I use my water and my pipe water to water them if there's no rain. That's the backyard garden.
Very interesting feedback. Any thoughts about that?
I think they are trying to find some, means to water their products as it is. Rainwater, it's okay. Yeah, it's about the best probably that you could find. Yes, the issue might be where you are storing it. Yeah, so if you don't store it properly, or if it's in your reservoir has a problem, then whatever goes into it could be the issue. Otherwise, rainwater is about the best. The tap water that someone also said they are using, it's also okay because that is treated water. And it's expensive for the government to do that. I did see something like a stream, or somebody saying his dog, I think probably might be a marshy piece of ground, and the person is dark, so the water table is high, so you get water coming up there and being used. Normally, water from the ground is also okay, provided there hasn't been sort of any mining activity in that area, because then you would have pollution with what we call heavy metals, and heavy metals you can get sick, from it, because you have something like mercury depositing in your kidney, and can give you a lot of trouble. Arsenic is also something you want to watch out for.
Yeah.
Now, where you have water, like the stream, from one end to the other, there are some practices you could also come up with which will reduce the level of risk. Once the water is streaming down, sometimes some may just sort of connect it to the piece of ground where they are growing the crops. You could see they were on beds.
Yeah.
And in between the beds are what we call the furrows.
Okay.
So they are sort of gullies, and these waters can go in between, those grooves without directly pouring the water on the product.
Okay.
In that way, the roots get served, but you don't get water actually splashing onto the product. So if, let's say, it was contaminated water, at least the roots do get the water and not the contamination on your product. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much. It's been very, very insightful. I can see there's a lot to know and think about when it comes to the sources of water for vegetable production. So I'm going to take a short break, and when we come back, I'm going to be preparing a delicious recipe with Roderick in the kitchen. Don't go anywhere.
My name is Sheila Esibe-Yabua, the Deputy Program Leader of GhanaVeg. GhanaVeg is a program funded by the Royal Netherlands government, and we know that the Netherlands is one of the leading producers and exporters of vegetables worldwide, and this expertise is brought to bear in the GhanaVeg program. The program seeks to develop the commercial vegetable sector here in Ghana by making it strong and robust through the support of strong business-led initiatives. As such, we work with front-runner businesses, empowering them through our stakeholder engagements. We have trade missions, we have business-to-business meetings, and also we have a matching grant facility where we support through funds. In addition, we enhance production through a strengthened capacity in agronomy, where a pool of agronomists are trained and certified to give hands-on, practical, and timely advisory services to challenges with production on the field. We would like to partner with you here at GhanaVeg if you're a producer, exporter, aggregator, processor, or you offer services in the vegetable sector, or you supply inputs, machinery, or equipment. You're welcome to join the GhanaVeg family. You can reach us online at www.ghanaveg.org. You can send us an email, info@ghanaveg.org. We are active on Twitter and on Facebook. You can also call the phone number on your screen. We want to encourage you to grow more vegetables, eat more vegetables, and stay healthy. And remember, GhanaVeg, healthy and quality vegetables from Ghana through new ways of doing business.
Welcome back. I'm in the kitchen with Roderick, and as promised, we're going to be preparing a delicious sweet potato, cauliflower, and chicken curry. If you don't like chicken, you can add any other protein that you want. So going through the recipe, we have the following ingredients. Today I'm using coconut oil. We have onions, ginger, garlic, cumin, turmeric, coriander, cinnamon, which we don't normally use, and a little bit of cayenne, salt, of course, sweet potato, we've got the cauliflower, we've got tomatoes, we've got coriander. And this here is leftover chicken. So if you have any kind of leftover meat, make sure that you just, keep it overnight properly, and then you can use that. So that's what we have for the recipe. Maybe before we start, we go ahead and wash our hands.
Very, very important.
There we are.
Yeah. And, you need to use running water.
Yeah.
There's a whole protocol about hand washing.
Mm-hmm.
First, you wet your hand, then you apply the soap.
Yeah.
Which should be antibacterial. It should be able to kill germs.
Yeah.
So you do it in a round-like manner, then the webs of the finger, and then the tips. That's why long fingernails you should try to avoid. Otherwise, you try and clean.
And don't forget your thumbs. I think the thumbs everyone always forgets to.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. I always tell children that they should sing happy birthday to you. I always remind children that they should sing happy birthday to you about 15 or 2 times, and then they'll get their washing in. Okay?
Yeah. Maybe that was the blessing that Ebola brought Ghana. It taught people how to wash their hands, and that practice seems to be going down, so let's pick it up again.
Excellent. Here you go. And I'll go ahead and do the same.
Thank you.
So, do you cook at home?
I wish my wife was here. Well, sometimes, not often.
Okay.
Yes. And it's usually the less complex things. So that's what I do. Rice and my cabbage stew. Yes. I love cabbage.
Cabbage is your favorite?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cabbage is nice.
And do you eat it usually raw or?
Well, both goes. I like it tossed in a little oil.
Okay.
Also goes along with the wache when you cut it up in salad form.
And that's nice texture.
Yes.
Yes.
It's got structure.
Good. All right, I'll take that from you. I'm going to go ahead and ask you to help me with the recipe. I'm going to turn this on, medium heat. Okay. Okay. All right, so we're going to start with the coconut oil. And you have a spoon right there if you can help me along with that. We've got the onions. That's the ginger. And a bit of garlic. Okay, let me pop that out.
I like the sizzling sound.
So we've got all our spices now. We've got coriander. Turmeric is really interesting. Very, very anti-inflammatory properties, so it's very healthy. Cumin. Very much associated with curries, I think. This is cinnamon, so it's going to change it a little bit. And then some cayenne. I'm going to try and add a little bit of salt, not too much. There we go. So do you have any children?
Yeah, I have a son.
And does he like vegetables?
No, unfortunately, so you have to...
Force?
Well, not force, try and convince him.
Okay.
Or you try to mash it up with a meal. Sometimes, yes, but...
Does he have any favorites?
No.
No. All right, the sweet potato will go in now. And because they're a bit hard, we want to let them cook quickly. I'm adding the stock. So what we normally do at this point is we have to cover it and leave it to cook for maybe about 7 to 10 minutes. So 7 to 10 minutes is what we need. Once you've given that a good stir, I'll just give that a close. So we've almost finished our 7 minutes. I think the sweet potatoes are almost ready. I'm gonna go ahead and add the cauliflower now. You can replace cauliflower with any vegetable you like. If you like broccoli or zucchini, any other vegetable will go in. So let's give that a little stir. If you see that the stock is reducing and it looks dry, you can just go ahead and add a little bit of water just to keep it going.
Yummy.
Yeah, and you can see the turmeric, the color has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cauliflower has a nice yellow color. Okay, we're gonna close that and then let that cook, stirring a few minutes at a time. Give that another 7 to 10 minutes until the cauliflower is tender. Okay, so we've had about 7 to 10 minutes. I think the cauliflower looks good. Maybe you want to give that a stir. I'm gonna reduce the heat a bit. So I'm gonna go ahead, we had some leftover chicken that was in the fridge, so I'm gonna go ahead and add that. I've just gone ahead and taken some of the cooked rice. We had some brown rice that we cooked. Everyone's trying to be healthy.
Yes.
So we have brown rice.
Yeah.
And I've just plated it there. A little chef tip. So, do you usually eat rice or?
Yeah, I'm a rice fan.
Okay.
Rice, I could take it at least once a day. I'm able to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I like to go for the fufu.
Fufu, that's your favorite?
Yes.
With what kind of soup?
Fufu granite soup. Yes, that's very nice. But I'm a rice fan. The brown rice, very good.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the bran on it against berry. So people should go for it. It's a good choice.
So what I'm gonna do here,
Yes.
we're gonna go ahead and serve. Okay. Just before serving, we have our diced tomatoes, fresh tomatoes. We don't need to cook them much. So we'll just go ahead and put those in. So it'll add a little bit of spice and pop to the dish. Give that a little stir. And let's go ahead and plate that. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of coriander to that. So it's a great way to use any kind of vegetable. So whatever you have in the house, whatever your children enjoy eating, you can go ahead and use those. You're not fixed to the sweet potato or the cauliflower. I changed my cutting board. This is the green one, so this is for the fruits and vegetables.
Very important. I mean, cross-contamination. You must have a separate board for that. So
we had the yellow one that we use for the chicken.
Okay.
With a different knife, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. Just a quick chop through the fresh coriander. Okay, we'll just go ahead and add that. And let me get you a fork, because I'm sure by now you must be hungry.
Yeah, very hungry.
Okay, so there you go. You can do the honors.
All right.
It's okay?
I wish you could put everything off and I'll sit somewhere in the corner.
Absolutely.
It's lovely.
So while he's enjoying his sweet potato, cauliflower, and chicken curry, I'm gonna say goodbye. Thanks for joining. Make sure you stay tuned for next week for our next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
No, we'll get you a chair, please, don't worry.